From the 19th century, Sierra Leone was a pioneer of Western-style education in sub-Saharan Africa. Arabic College, the first tertiary institute in the sub-region, was founded in 1827. The country became an important center in training teachers, doctors, and administrators for the whole of West Africa. During this period, the majority of the population were not formally educated or received only a couple of years of primary education. When Sierra Leone declared independence in 1961, under 15% of children aged 5 to 11 and only 5% of 12 to 16 years old attended school. From 1991 to 2002, civil war devastated the country. 1,270 primary schools were destroyed. Many teachers lost their lives or were forced to leave their country. After independence, there was pressure to change the educational system, but it wasn't until the 1990s that this grew to the level that led to changes in the system.
My name is Dr. Alexi Valimbayo, Acting Head of Department for Peace and Conflict Studies at Arabic College, Mount Ora, Freetown. To run FBC involves the right people, involves the provision of resources. It also involves a relaxed atmosphere. What I mean here, that administrators, those who are the professionals, should be given the leeway. In the past, we have seen governments have been interfering with the administration of this place that has boiled down to where we are today. That the education system, everybody's grumbling all over the country, that the products of Arabic College and other universities also are not as good as they used to be. This place was known as the Athens of West Africa, but a lot of other factors have really affected the products we are getting today. It's an old age problem. It has been here for decades, but I think it's more serious now. I mean, during this 10 years, because the intake, like I said, is so huge. And the facilities, I mean, as they have been before, have never been added, except now we are hearing of some form of accommodation through the Badia program that people are trying to add classrooms. That I am not sure, because I am not privy. I am not part of anything. But I know it's a huge problem that needs to be addressed immediately.
The universities, they have the responsibility for it. I blame them so much for taking so much students each year, because we are expecting them to look into it and consider students. They have to say this is their limited time. If they sell their forms out, like for example they sell 300 forms, they try to know that each class will accommodate maybe 50 students per class, so that it will not be congested.
If the classrooms are not available, in the first place the lectures cannot go on. Like I told you before, sometimes we scramble for classrooms. As a lecturer, if I am slated, for example, to teach at the chemistry room 1 and somebody else is there with his students, how are we going to do? Sometimes you get there, the place is filled, although it might have been allocated to you by the registry, because that is what we do at the beginning of every semester. We put in for classrooms, bigger classrooms. Most of our department, you know, we have bigger class. Students can go up to 300 per class, and so we need a bigger classroom. We have to put in for these classrooms. But there are certain times you go there and the other lecturers are there. We are all colleagues. I mean, we all have to deliver our lectures. Sometimes we have to compromise. So you will make sure, sometimes you can call off your own classroom, your own class for that day, because another lecturer is occupying the class. And that means the students for that day will not get anything. You have to reschedule that class another time. So that means our time is wasted sometimes. We may not end up even delivering all of the courses or the modules, or they may be the content, I mean, because of these kinds of unfortunate situations that happen.
This setback made the legal requirement of universal basic education for all children difficult to obtain. At the end of the war in 2001, 67% of school-aged children were out of school. The outbreak of the Ebola virus disease in 2014 meant another major setback. Many teachers lost their lives and educational institutions were forced to close during that time.
The building is already in a dilapidated level, where we need some kind of new structure to be standing up. The building in itself is the school system, we lack materials in the school. We don't have that kind of supporting for the learning environment and teaching and learning materials are not. Then the teachers are working voluntarily, including me, without getting paid from nowhere. So this is the usual for the school. We are not officially contracted from government yet. We are working directly with the community level. We get support from the community, but not that kind of support in a sense, because it's a vulnerable school, as I'm saying before. The kids who are coming here is from the province, most of them who are just coming to settle with their mothers or aunties down there, but they are more vulnerable as the community speaks. So like we don't have any kind of tax we render to them.
We manage to run the school by ourselves. We provide money to buy let me say chalk and other school materials for the school to run smoothly, unless in our pocket. Even the fees last year we asked them to pay per term 20,000, but now this new mission, we want to take care of the school. They are not paying any fees no more again.
The university will have to be responsible enough to be able to address some of these issues. I know there is an estate department in this university that is responsible for repairing and even providing furniture. When I say providing with resources, the money that they need, materials will have to be bought, I think, by the university from the resources they get from from government, from the school fees paid, and they should be in turn be able to provide furniture and provide materials, learn classroom materials, because there's an estate department, like I said, that should be equipped enough to be able to provide all of these things.
Concerning about materials, that have been something very, very difficult, because, for example, if we use the library, you go there are times even the library seats are limited. You don't get enough space to sit and do your studies, and at times some departments go there, they don't even have their books available to use, and more so the internet facility that others are using again is not available all the time at the university. We don't have Wi-Fi access, even if we have, although there is one, but it's not enough. So I think there should be more to be done on it.
Sierra Leoneans welcome this and the previous measures, but remain very conscious about the immense challenges, which requires different stakeholders, students, parents, teachers, administrators, and the general educational system to ensure that we share different views and what's needed to evaluate the progress.
I'm Miss Yufemiako, the Deputy Head of the Textbook Library of Fabric College. We need an up-to-date library. We do not have any electronical equipment, say, and computers and the like to make work easier. Okay, we used to have there's a Wi-Fi installed here, but there's a problem with it now. Except if you want to browse, you have to go downstairs. There's one downstairs. If you can observe students, we have more students that are using the Wi-Fi downstairs. As at now, we have old textbooks. We do not have updated versions now. We have old ones because this library depend on donors. Depend, let me say, 90% on donations from other colleges, maybe abroad or maybe within Sierra Leone.
I really cannot tell exactly what obtains, but I remember from time to time the library requests departments to put in or send in titles of books that they may want their students to have access to. When I was acting, I think I did something of that nature. We have a list of books that we wanted the university to provide for us. As I speak to you, we have not heard from them. Nothing has been provided. Textbooks are a problem in third world countries generally. And that is why some of us that have gone out to study, some of us that buy our own books, that is what we use to assist our students. These are the books we use because we can't rely on textbooks that are 20, 30 years old. Things are changing. Information is changing. This is an information age we are in. We have to have adequate textbooks and updated ones.
The hardening economic situation and the growing population putting the reviving educational system under intense pressure. In this context, the government of Sierra Leone in 2018 launched the Free and Quality Education Initiative.
Overcrowding in classes, what is responsible for that is the increase in population is one key factor. I have traveled wide. What I know is that the country is facing a situation wherein we fail to realize that our population is increasing. If so, then consideration should be given to infrastructure. We need to put more effort to have furniture in the school so that children will be comfortable in their learning process. But the population is very large and you cannot leave the children out not to learn. But if we want them to learn effectively, it means that we should look into the infrastructure available for them. And we'll consider again the population increase in the country.
When we come, we could have been we stand because let me say we used to it. Since SS1 we have been doing that up to now. So we used to it now. So at times when we come we could have been we can stand. Then we teaching let me say we are above 87 in class. Let me say some of us will stand at the back when teacher is teaching. We are not getting teacher correctly because we can't hear what the teacher is trying to say. Also, we are too many in class. But thank God now when I say 50 in class, I think that will reduce the number of people.
Another factor is that what we get from school fees is not enough to run the school. If at all bribery is existing, one way we can minimize it is by, first of all, teachers. In the area of teachers, they should make sure that they give them their actual salaries. That is, their benefits as stipulated by the government should reach the teachers. And secondly, I think when we go in the area of parents also do help to corrupt the situation. Because some of them, they want their children to get standards they do not achieve. So they filter themselves into the system, which also leads to corruption.
As a teacher, we have so many challenges, especially for us the young guys that are just coming from the university. We've been serving in school as for me, 3 years. We have others 4 years without a PIN code. And it is very, 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 very pressing for us here. Because, as a young man, we have to do so many things for us to buy things to just come here. We pay our money, our transport, we just sacrifice. And I'm sure we are doing it just for the government. So I'm sure with the help of this one, I'm sure the government will be able to put things in place, modalities in place. And for services, we are about 19 of us. And according to sources, it has taken some time now without recruiting teachers here, except maybe when they have 2 or 1 teacher they replace. But with this help, I'm just pleading to the government and those that are concerned so that they'll be able to help us. I know, especially those that used to come and help. Sometimes, they used to say an empty bag cannot stand. But with this new initiative to the government, I am sure this issue of pamphlets, we are not going to encourage it anymore. And as I am talking to you, I have my lesson notes prepared, everything from SS1 to SS3. And I am ready to teach, I am ready to serve. All what is disturbing us is just the PIN code issue. If we have the PIN code, everything will go down well.
Ask us for money. At times they gave us assignments, then we give them 2,000, 3,000. If they give you assignment, then you do not cooperate, they are going to fail you. You are not going to pass any subject. So we struggle a lot. Let me say, as for me, after school, I will go and help my aunt to wash pan and learn our dirty clothes for us to give me money to come to school. Because if I come to school, I don't have money, then they gave us assignments. Then if I did the assignment, my colleagues will copy for me. Then the teacher will not collect my assignment because I don't have money.
We used to give them stipend. And we used to encourage them to assist the country. Let them work with the fact that they are serving their country. That should be the first thing that should come into their mind. It is not easy for you to graduate and to be without salary. Frankly speaking, is an undesirable act. They deserve to get salaries. Whatever I do, I always appeal to them that the government for now has used the Teacher Service Commission for them to apply, and I did that for so many of them. I've sent in their documents. For now, we are only waiting for the approval. When that happens, I think we shall by all means put that to a pass.
In terms of disciplinary measures, there are clear regulations, and that is why at the start of every semester, students are gathered together and they are briefed department to department on all of this, as to what is expected of them and what they should not be doing as students. In relation to the committee, we have a clear mandate, and like you said, we will not meet if there is no issue to discuss. When there are issues to discuss, we meet twice every week, because there are a lot of backlogs of cases or complaints that sit there in the registrar's office, and so we have to make sure we meet regularly and to speed up. And I think we are not doing badly. We have been able to address some of the issues. That has been an ongoing allegation, and these ones, I can tell you, has come to the ears of the administration. Some allegations and some complaints have even been filed in the past. I happen to be a member of the disciplinary committee here on campus. We have dealt with such allegations, and the findings we have sent them to the administration that gave us the task to investigate with some recommendations. Like I said, these are allegations, and I will say they are not happening, because I know also that there may not just be allegations without evidences or without these things happening. I will clearly admit that there's some sort of truth in all of these allegations, because based on what I have said, our findings from the disciplinary committee, we have made our recommendations, and I know the right actions will be taken by administration.
Yeah, there's a code of conduct for that. Like, it's boldly written in a book which was given to us, I think last semester, that if any lecturer pressurizes you to pay a certain amount for you to be promoted to the next level, you have to report to the administration. But then how can a student report if he or she is being threatened? Like, if you report this to the administration, definitely you have to pay the penalty for that. And at the same time, there are some senior lecturers here who ask students, and how can a senior lecturer, a very well and respected lecturer, ask a student for money? Where will you take that matter to? Because you're just a student, and many lecturers will support their lecturers, because like as a student you don't have to like give out the problems, give out the challenges you're facing. You don't have to complain, you don't have to do, it's part of the college, you just have to endure it. And some people say, if you know you don't have money, don't come to school, stay at home.
We have become something that so many students have used to, due to some reasons best known to them, but others I can say due to laggardness. Some, they just don't want to study, they don't want to make effort, so they depend on bribery. And of course I blame the lecturers as well that are in charge of it, because as a lecturer, they are here to lecture students so that they can make up their grades. Those who did not make up their grades, let them accept their fate. If they want to make it up, let them repeat themselves or try to book themselves up for better studies.
Because sometimes the findings are so grievous, the university might not have the proper measures to really take against the individual. And so I recommend on my own personal basis to say sometimes we need to send these cases to ACC if it is so serious that the university cannot have the appropriate or the legal mandate to handle. Transportation is a key to a successful university studies for students, even for us as lecturers, because it is not everybody that has a vehicle. Then transportation, as we all know, even for people downtown, is a problem, and it involves huge amount of money. So if administration, we have some buses that the administration managed to buy, but those ones are not enough. Given the large number of students, I think we need to have more buses, and if we are going to have more buses, it's not only the administration that we have to handle all of that. Government also has to come in. I think there has to be provisions made.
According to my own view about the transportation fare, because we are paying 1,500 euros, then when you think about the taxi also is 1,500 euros. Because when you think about, even I'm staying at Eastern, because from Eastern to here, you think about the distance is very much more than the distance that the bus is covering from Model to FDC. So when you think about the transportation fare, 1,500 euros is very much exorbitant.
Currently, we have 3 buses, but it's only 2 that is working effectively. In this college, at first, the transportation issue, the fare was 1,000 euros, but recently they have increased it to 1,500 euros. And these have some of the students have even started canaling. There is this thing that we call canal, that is going down on, let me say, by walking on feet, going down the hill through walking.
I want to plead to the administration of those who are responsible, the transport committee in FBC, to reduce the transportation fare to 1,000 euros as we are used to pay before.
This documentary is a contribution and stimulation to the ongoing debate and reform effort